August 31st, 1888. A body lies in Bucks Row, Whitechapel. Her throat cut so deeply the vertebrae are visible, her abdomen slashed open. This is Mary Ann Nichols, the first victim of a killer who will never be caught. In the heart of Victorian London's most desperate slum, a predator has begun to hunt. Over the next 10 weeks, 5 women will die in ways that defy comprehension. The press will give him a name that echoes through history: Jack the Ripper. This is the story of the Whitechapel murders, a case that remains unsolved after more than a century, and a mystery that continues to haunt us. To understand Jack the Ripper, you must first understand Whitechapel. In 1888, London is the largest city on earth, capital of an empire spanning a quarter of the globe. But in the East End, poverty is absolute. Whitechapel is a labyrinth of narrow courts and filthy alleys, where 30,000 people are crammed into a single square mile. Entire families sleep in single rooms. Doss houses charge 4p a night for a rope to lean on. For the women at the bottom, widows, alcoholics, the destitute, there is only one way to earn the price of a bed. They walk the streets. And in the autumn of 1888, those streets become a hunting ground. Mary Ann Nichols is 43 years old. She has 5 children, but she hasn't seen them in years. Alcohol has destroyed her marriage, her health, her life. On the night of August 31st, she is turned away from a doss house. She doesn't have the 4p. She tells the deputy keeper she'll soon be back with the money. She walks into the darkness. At 3:40 a.m., a cart driver named Charles Lechmere discovers her body in Bucks Row. A policeman arrives minutes later. Her clothes are barely disturbed. There is almost no blood on the ground. But when the body reaches the mortuary, the true horror is revealed. Her throat has been cut twice, nearly severing the head. Her abdomen has been slashed open with deep, jagged wounds. The killer worked in near total silence in a public street and vanished without a trace. 1 week later, the killer strikes again. Annie Chapman, 47, is found in the backyard of 29 Hanbury Street. Her throat is cut. Her abdomen is opened. Her intestines are draped over her shoulder. And this time, organs have been taken. Her uterus is missing. The precision of the cuts suggests anatomical knowledge. The speed suggests practice. A witness reports seeing Annie talking to a man shortly before her death, a shabby, genteel figure, wearing a deerstalker hat. But the description is vague, and the man is never found. Panic begins to spread through Whitechapel. The police have no leads. The killer has left no evidence, and he is not finished. On September 27th, a letter arrives at the Central News Agency. It is written in red ink. It begins, "Dear boss, I keep on hearing the police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet." It is signed Jack the Ripper. The letter mocks the police, promises more killings, and threatens to cut off the victim's ears. Most investigators believe it is a hoax, a journalist's invention to sell newspapers, but the name sticks: Jack the Ripper. 3 days later, the killer proves the letter was no exaggeration. On the night of September 30th, he kills twice. Elizabeth Stride is found at 1 a.m. in Dutfield's yard, her throat cut but her body otherwise untouched. 45 minutes later, Catherine Eddowes is discovered in Mitre Square. Her face is mutilated, her abdomen is ripped open, her left kidney and part of her uterus are missing. The Ripper has killed twice in one night in 2 different police jurisdictions within walking distance of each other. He is interrupted with Stride, possibly by a witness arriving at the scene. So he moves on, finds another victim and completes his work. The double event sends shockwaves through London. The police are overwhelmed, the press is in a frenzy, and the killer sends another message. November 9th, 1888. Mary Jane Kelly is 25 years old, the youngest of the Canonical 5. She rents a small room at 13 Miller's Court off Dorset Street. At 10:45 a.m., her landlord's assistant knocks on the door to collect overdue rent. There is no answer. He peers through the broken window. What he sees will haunt him for the rest of his life. Mary Kelly has been destroyed. Her throat is cut down to the spine. Her face is slashed beyond recognition. Her abdomen is emptied, organs placed around the room. Her heart is missing. The Ripper has spent hours with her body in a locked room, unleashing a frenzy of violence that defies comprehension. This is his final act. After Mary Kelly, the murders stop. Jack the Ripper disappears into history. The investigation becomes the largest manhunt in British history. Scotland Yard is led by Inspector Frederick Abberline, a veteran detective with years of experience in Whitechapel. But he is working in the dark. There are no fingerprints, no forensic science, no CCTV. Witness statements are contradictory. Suspects number in the hundreds. The police pursue theories ranging from the plausible to the absurd. Foreign sailors, insane doctors, even members of the royal family. In 1894, Chief Constable Melville McNacton compiles a confidential memo naming 3 suspects: Montague Druitt, a barrister who drowned himself in the Thames, Michael Ostrog, a Russian criminal, and Aaron Kosminski, a Polish immigrant confined to an asylum. But none are ever charged. The case remains open. The killer is never identified. Over the decades, more than 100 suspects have been proposed. Charles Lechmere, the cart driver who discovered Mary Nichols, was he the killer returning to the scene? George Hutchinson, who claimed to see Mary Kelly with a well-dressed man, was he lying to deflect suspicion from himself? Joseph Barnett, Kelly's former lover, who argued with her days before her death. In recent years, DNA analysis of a shawl allegedly found at the Eddowes crime scene has pointed to Aaron Kosminski. But the evidence is disputed, the chain of custody unclear. Other researchers favour Jacob Levy, a butcher who died in an asylum in 1891. The truth is, we will never know. Jack the Ripper's identity is lost to time, but his legend endures. Why does Jack the Ripper still fascinate us? Perhaps because the case represents a perfect mystery, a crime so brutal, so inexplicable that it demands an answer we can never have. Or perhaps because the Ripper murders exposed the dark underbelly of Victorian society, the poverty, the desperation, the invisibility of women like Mary Ann Nichols and Annie Chapman, whose lives mattered to no one until their deaths made headlines. The Ripper did not create the conditions of Whitechapel. He merely exploited them. And in doing so, he forced Victorian London to confront the human cost of its indifference. The Whitechapel murders of 1888 remain unsolved. 5 women, Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes and Mary Jane Kelly, were killed in the most brutal fashion imaginable. Their murderer was never caught. His identity remains one of history's greatest mysteries. But the victims were not mysteries. They were real people with real lives who died in terror and pain. We remember Jack the Ripper because we cannot forget him. But we should also remember the women he killed. Not as footnotes to his legend, but as individuals who deserved better than the world gave them. Their names are worth remembering. Their stories are worth telling. And their deaths demand that we never look away from the suffering of the invisible and the forgotten.